And day before yesterday, we had started SA 501. That is audit evidence, specific consideration for selected items. So today, students, we shall try to cover these three essays. SA 501, audit evidence, specific consideration for selected items. SA 505, external confirmations. SA 510, initial audit engagements, opening balances. Okay. So we had learned at the outset of SA 501 that it relates to three things. What are these three things? One is inventories. Another is litigations and claims involving the entity. And third is segment information. So we had already started the portion on inventories. So students, what is the responsibility of auditor in relation to inventories? We had discussed that whenever inventories are material to financial statements, the auditor shall obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence by attending physical inventory count of inventories, unless it is impracticable. And thereafter, he shall reconcile those results of physical inventory count with the inventory records of the entity. And we had also discussed, yet Tejaswin, you are saying rightly, that auditor's responsibility as far as SA 501 is concerned relates to existence and condition of inventories. So can you tell me the 4 audit procedures, students, which we had discussed, which are to be performed by the auditor at the time of attending physical inventory count? The 4 points which I had asked you to absorb in your minds. Do you remember those points? Yes, anyone? Yes, Pranav is writing something, observing the count procedure, performing test counts, and physical attendance. No, physical attendance is the overall thing. Within physical attendance, there are 4 points. So 2 you are writing, Pranav, correctly. Observing the management counts procedure. And what comes before observing the management counts procedure? Try to remember it that way. Yes. Yes, Hasi Agarwal, yes, you are stating correctly. Evaluate management's instructions. So first thing comes is evaluating management instructions. Now that is very important. What instructions the management of the entity has given to its staff for counting? Because if these instructions are not proper, then obviously the whole exercise of physical inventory counting, it becomes a farce. Its objective becomes defeated. Okay. And second thing, logically, second thing comes observing the management count. And third thing is inspecting the inventory. obviously whatever stocks are being counted, it is the responsibility of the auditor to inspect these, to see what is their condition. Like say in case of some perishable goods, whether there are damaged stocks, or stocks could be damaged for some other reasons also, like these may be water affected. Okay, and their value may have got reduced due to damages. So these kind of things. And fourth point is uh, making a test count. So obviously the auditor would be making a test count. Whatever the management people, whatever the staff of the company is counting, the auditor would make a test count. And after that, he will reconcile the results with the inventory records. Clear? This part is clear to you guys? And SA 501 further states, students, that if inventory count is performed at a date which is other than the date of financial statements, it means not at the year end. If it is performed at some other date, then obviously the auditor would be performing tests on the intervening period, on the intervening transactions. Now there can be two issues here, students. Yes, Ayaz, some disturbance is coming in my earphone. Can you switch it off? Yes, Ayaz. Yes, Ayaz. So two issues can arise in this situation. Say auditor is unable to attend physical inventory count due to unforeseen circumstances. And second issue can arise that it is impracticable for the auditor. It becomes impracticable for the auditor to attend physical inventory count. So two words you have to remember, students. Two words. One thing is unforeseen circumstances, and second thing is impracticable. Now, what is the difference between these two terms? Unforeseen circumstances and impracticable. Say, I'll give you an example. Say the auditor has planned attendance of physical inventory count of a company, say as on 28th March. Okay, let us assume on 28th March. He has made a plan, he has discussed with the management. No, Niruben, Zoom chat would not be enabled. If you want to ask some question, you can send it on the email or of BOS portal. Or if you want to talk to me, then you can talk in last half an hour. Okay, on Zoom. Say the auditor had planned to attend physical inventory count at 28th March. He had discussed with the person and he had said, look, I am coming on 28th March at your plant. So suddenly a spontaneous, say, agitation starts on the way. There is a road blockade, or there is some agitation. People are not allowing the traffic to go, and say by road is the also assume that the plant of the company where inventory and inventories are lying, it can be accessed only by means of road. Okay. So it is an example of unforeseen circumstances. So something has happened immediately, all of a sudden, uh, and the auditor is not able to reach the site where inventories are lying. So what does SA 501 say about it? It says that he can attend the inventory count at some other date. Okay, say the blockade is opened after 10 days, 15 days. So he would attend the physical inventory count, say on 20th April, and then perform alternative audit procedures during the intervening period between 20th April to 31st March, is sort of back calculations. Because during the intervening period, some purchases would have been made. So these would have to be excluded, and some sales would have already been made. Okay. So these type of back of the envelope calculation would have to be made. So this is an example of unforeseen circumstances. Now, what could be the example of when it becomes impracticable for the auditor to attend inventory count? Means that the auditor it is not practicable, it is not practically feasible for the auditor to attend the inventory count. Like say some conflict has broken out, or say some there is some issue relating to the safety of the auditor, that it is not possible for the auditor to attend physical inventory count. Say in the example given above, if I say that the agitation is continuing, say for 5-6 months, obviously accounts have to be audited, financial statements have to be audited within a timeline. Then it might become case of an impracticable situation. So in that case, what does SA 501 state? That if it becomes impracticable for auditor to attend physical inventory count, then he shall perform alternative audit procedures in sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So obviously, look, that he has always to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. He has always to obtain. If it has become impracticable to attend physical inventory count, then he shall perform alternative audit procedures. Like, what is the example of alternative audit procedure? Like say the inventories which were lying on 31st March, whether these have been sold, whether those items have been sold in subsequent period. So this could be the example of alternative audit procedure. If something is sold after 31st March, it means it was lying in stock as on 31st March. Okay, unless there is a fresh purchase of it. Clear, guys? And if the auditor is not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence by performing of alternative audit procedures, then he would have to modify his opinion. Yes. Yes, guys, is that clear? Drop a mail. Yes, guys, this much is clear. Yes, Ajaz, can you hear me? Yes, Ayaz, can you hear me? Hello, Ayaz, can you hear me? Yes, Tambeshwari, you are asking me to explain unforeseen circumstances again. Unforeseen circumstances, Tambeshwari, unforeseen, which is not seen in advance, which comes spontaneously, which happens without any notice. Like say the auditor has I had given you an example. The auditor had planned to go to the plant of the company, and during midway he finds the road to the plant blocked. So this is an example of unforeseen circumstances. And Sanya, you are asking what will be the opinion of auditor if previously when auditor was unable to attend but corrected later, will he be required to change his opinion? No, say, Sanya, the point you have to see, if auditor is not able to attend as on the date of financial statements due to some unforeseen circumstances, then obviously it is his duty to attend at some alternative date, which is practical, say after 15 days or 1 month. Okay, so he would attend physical inventory count at that date and perform audit procedures on intervening period for 1 month and reach his conclusions. If he is able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then it's okay. He doesn't need to modify his opinion. Yes, Sanya, is it clear to you? Yes, Sanya, is it clear to you? And Tejaswin, I have also explained what you are asking. Pallavi, you are saying what is meant by modification of opinion. So there is a separate chapter on audit report in your module 2, students, Pallavi, where you would read about what do we mean by unmodified opinion and what do we mean by modified opinion. So unmodified opinion means a sort of clean chit, and modified opinion means some sort of reservation or adverse opinion. Okay. Yes, Ayaz, are you able to hear me? Ayaz, there is a lot of sound coming from your place. Please switch it off. Either my mic is on or something is there. Yes, yes, guys. Is it clear or should I explain again because there was a disturbance from tech support team? So, guys, I'll explain it once again. So, unforeseen circumstances example is clear to you. Say if the auditor is not able to attend as on the date of financial statements, he is not able to attend physical inventory count as at the date of financial statements, then he shall attend physical inventory count process at some alternative date and perform audit procedures on the in the intervening period. He would try to reconcile those transactions which have happened during the 1 month and see whether the inventory as on 31st March is okay. Okay. And if it becomes impracticable for him, it means that it is not possible for him to attend physical inventory count. Then what will he do? He can't attend physical inventory count. He would have to go by the records. Then he would have to go by the records. Okay, so one portion he is able to do, but another portion he is not able to do. But still, by the records, he has to get sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay. Now, Sanatan, you are asking why special essay provided in this regard? Because it is one of the important items. Look, the name of essay, Sanatan, is audit evidence specific consideration for selected items. So some items have been chosen in which it has been thought proper to issue a standard on auditing. Okay. And you should know that these standards are modeled on international standards on auditing. Okay. So the same pattern ICAI is also following. Yes. So clear, guys, always remember these 2 points: unforeseen circumstances, impracticable. And third thing is, say guys, there is a concept of job work. So do you understand what does job work mean? Which we in common language say job work. Say there is a company and it is engaged in manufacturing of ready-made garments, apparels, like skirts, like t-shirts, like jeans. Okay. And company is purchasing fabric as a raw material, and some work on the fabric, say raw structure of the skirt or say t-shirt or shirt, is made in the premises of company. But some processes are carried out outside the company, outside the company's plant by the job workers, like say buttoning or things like that, because the company may find it cost effective. Okay. So tell me the stock which the company has sent for job work to third parties, whose property is it? First tell me this. Yes, Sanatan, outsourcing. You have understood rightly. Whose property is it? Who owns it? In whose financial statements it would be included? Whether it would be included in the financial statements of the company, or whether it would be included in the financial statements of third party. Yes, great. Sanatan, Pallavi, Pranav, Ritika, it is company's asset. So the only difference is that the stocks are not lying in the company's premises, but these are lying at some other location. So, but the company remains the owner of these stocks. These would be forming part of financial statements of the company, but these would not be lying in the premises of the company, in the factory premises of the company as on date of financial statements, right? Then how the auditor can verify it? Yes. What could be your logical answer about it? What now I prompt you to tell me audit procedure, to think of an audit procedure in this regard. Yes, yes, Pooja, you are also right. So what audit procedure can an auditor perform in such a case? Yes, yes, Tejaswin, you are right. Confirmation from third party. So the most suitable audit procedure in this regard could be to get a confirmation from a third party. Like, say the stock is lying with a job worker X, the stock of shirts, jeans, etc. As on the date of financial statement, some stock which has gone for processing is lying with a job worker named X. Okay. So obviously, I as an auditor, I can ask for third party confirmation. I can ask the job worker to confirm the quantity of the stock lying with him. Okay. And some other procedures can also be performed in conjunction with it, like inspection, or say obtaining job workers auditors report, okay, or some other documentary evidence which goes on to show that stock as on so and so date was indeed lying with the job worker. So guys, clear? This part is clear to you of SA 501? Yes. And one point, students, which we had left pertains to matters relevant in planning attendance at physical inventory count. Matters relevant in attendance means auditor's attendance, in attendance at physical inventory count. So guys, when the auditor has planned to attend physical inventory count at the company's premises, at the entity's premises, tell which considerations should be borne in his mind, in auditor's mind. Which considerations would be important to him? Which are the factors which should be considered for him, considered by him? Do not see your module. Just apply your own common sense. The language may differ, but you can write, you can state it in your own words. Like, say I am auditor of a company. I plan to attend physical inventory count, say as on 30th March of a company. So what things I would be keeping in my mind? Which are the important considerations? Which matters are more relevant to me? So before attending physical inventory count, I would be doing some sort of homework, isn't it? I would be doing some sort of homework to make the exercise more effective. So which are the likely factors which are going to make this exercise effective? So I am plainly asking from you this. Just think over it. Just apply your own mind for a minute and just identify few factors. Yes, yes. Some of you are writing. Tambeshwari, how many persons made clothes? No, that would not be. Clothes have already been made. Okay. Yes, place of inventory, nature of inventory. Kasak, yes, you are right. Risk assessment in relation to inventories. Tejaswin, yes. So, say first, foremost consideration in my mind would be at which places inventories are lying. How many places I have to attend. Okay, so there may be 3-4 places of the company. Plant may be at 3-4 places. So first, foremost consideration would be this. Second would be nature of inventory. Now, now when I go to that place, what I would be finding? Okay, what is the nature of inventories? So for this, I need to understand manufacturing operations of the company, or the company or the entity is into which kind of business, isn't it? So, and then I would also be thinking um, on the type of instructions which the management has given to its staff for inventory counting. I would be evaluating those instructions. Okay. And then I would also be assessing what is the risk of material misstatement in inventories. Where do the risks lie? What are the chances that inventories could be misstated? Okay. And say, yes, all of you are writing correctly. And also say, if it is a manufacturing concern, then I would also be taking into account how they are determining quantities of their work in progress. Okay, because in a factory process, the work in process would be at different stages of completion. Okay, so how they are determining inventories at different stages, because ultimately it is going to affect the value of inventories. Yes, Bhavna, you are asking nature of inventory means, what does it mean? Nature of inventory simply means what is the type of inventory. Say it may be stock of food grains. It may be rice, it may be paddy, it may be machinery, it may be cloth, it may be yarn, it may be fabric, it could be chemicals. Okay. Yes, Bhavna, is it clear to you? So these are auditors' responsibilities in relation to inventories. And again, always remember, after reading all this, always remember that SA 501 talks about two things. That is existence and condition of inventories. Do not forget this. that under SA 501, although the auditor would be checking other assertions pertaining to inventories, but as far as SA 501 is concerned, it deals with auditor obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding existence and condition of inventories. Yes. Type of inventories, yes, Kasak. Raw material, work in process, that's also correct. Now we come to second part of SA 501, that is litigations and claims involving the entity. Now this is second part of SA 501. Yes, Arup, obviously he can check method to record inventory. This is part of his overall procedure when he is verifying inventory records. Yes. So what does this mean, guys? Litigations and claims involving the entity. Say there, the entity, a company or organization, it may be involved in certain litigations. Litigation means some matters which are embroiled in some disputes. They have gone to courts or to some quasi judicial authorities, and these could have financial implications for the company. Okay, like say contingent liabilities may arise, provisions may have to be made, so such kind of things. So because these affect the presentation and disclosure of financial information, so therefore these are important, and an auditor designs audit procedures to assess risk of material misstatements in litigations and claims involving the entity. Okay. So obviously the auditor would want to ensure that all the information is properly disclosed, which is required by the applicable financial reporting framework. So therefore, the auditor has to perform audit procedures. Okay. Now, guys, try to think again from common sense point of view, which could be the audit procedures performed by the auditor in obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence in testing litigations and claims involving the entity. That whatever was required to be disclosed, it has been disclosed. How can auditor verify this aspect? Think from common sense point of view. Say whenever in the paper, whenever in the exams, comes the terms audit procedure, since it is an auditing paper, so you would be finding many questions on audit procedures. So chapter 5, next chapter is totally on audit procedures. So audit procedures, remember, these are nothing but ways and methods to get audit evidence. So how the auditor would get audit evidence? Yes, Ritika, inspection of what? Yes, Pranav, Tambeshwari and Apurva, you are writing inquiries. Yes, right. First thing is inquiry. Inquiry with management and in-house legal counsel. So like bigger companies may have a legal department, okay, within the companies, so who are dealing with all sort of legal matters. So first step is the auditor making inquiries with the management and in-house legal counsel. They tell us what is the status of all these legal matters, legal issues. Okay. And what could be other two things? Yes, Ritika is saying inspection of books of accounts. Yes, Ritika, that is a broad point. Inspection of books of accounts. But tell me what the auditor is going to get out of inspection of books of accounts. Yes. Yes, Ritika. You are writing inspection of books of accounts. So what specific thing uh, he should see in books of accounts as far as this aspect, litigations and claims involving the entity is concerned? Yes, Tejaswin. Yes, Tejaswin has already answered. Reviewing the legal expense account. So what is the importance of reviewing the legal expense account? Reviewing means just to go through and inspect the supporting documents. No, no, Arup, re-performance, how re-performance is concerned with it? No way. Review, yes, Kambeshwari, reviewing legal expenses account. Say legal expenses account, which type of expenses would be booked in legal expenses account? So, like fees paid to advocate, fees paid to external lawyer. So, obviously, when say fees has been paid on different dates to external legal counsel or to the lawyer, then obviously the auditor would be asking next logical question: why this fees has been paid, or what is written in the on the bill, so that he can, by doing so he would come to know which are the matters which are being represented by that external legal counsel. Clear, guys? Is it clear to you guys? What is the logic behind reviewing legal expenses account? Why does SA 501 state that it is one of the audit procedures as far as testing this aspect is concerned? Okay. And third is going through or inspecting minutes of meetings of management with external lawyer, with external legal counsel. So by reviewing these documents, by inspecting these documents, Amit, why you are including observation of physical inventory in this? Okay. So this can throw light upon the litigation matters, upon the claims involving the entity which could have material effect on the financial statements of the company. And if by performing these procedures, auditor thinks that there is a risk of material misstatement in the litigations and claims involving the entity, means that all the information which was required to be disclosed has not been disclosed, then he can also send, then the auditor can also send a letter of inquiry to the external legal counsel. Legal counsel means simply lawyer, advocate. The person who is dealing with law matters. Say in case of financial matters, he may be a chartered accountant if the matter is lying with uh, some quasi judicial authorities, say at the stage of tribunals. It can be some CA firm also. Okay. So letter of inquiry to external legal counsel. Now this letter can be a general sort of letter, general type of letter, asking the external legal counsel to give information on litigations and claims involving the entity, or it can be a specific letter stating certain points like give us information on these aspects, like list of litigations involving the company. Number two, like financial implications of these matters which are in the litigation. What are the management's estimates, and whether the external legal counsel is in agreement with the financial implications, financial costs of the management. So he can send this letter of inquiry to the external legal counsel. Okay, and of course with management's concurrence. And you would say if management doesn't concur, or if management doesn't give permission to the auditor, then obviously again, if the management is not willing to do, then auditor has to obtain audit evidence by alternative procedures. And if he is not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, he would need to modify his opinion. He would need to see what is impact upon his opinion. Okay. And there is also one more related aspect concerned with this litigation and claims involving the entity. That aspect, student says, meeting with the external legal counsel. Now, can the auditor meet with the external legal counsel? Yes. What is your viewpoint, guys? What do you think? Can the auditor meet with the external legal counsel? And what could be the circumstances? Under which circumstances he can meet the external legal counsel? Try to think. Make an intelligent guess. Yes, anyone? Yes, Pallavi, Arup, you are saying yes. Yes, you are right. But under which situation? Why it would become necessary for him to meet external legal counsel? Again, no rocket science, very logical, common sense. Just think without seeing from your module. You would learn audit procedures like this. You won't have to cram, guys. If you try to understand things in this manner, um, your learning process becomes easy. Yes, Tejaswin, yes, you are right. Say, Tejaswin, you are stating if there is a significant risk, yes. Say if the matter is of such importance that there is a significant risk of material misstatement, or say if the matter is very complex. So legal matters can be very complex. Some legal matters can be very complex. There can be many issues involved in those matters. There, there can be many laws involved in one single matter. There may not be a single solution or single outcome which can be anticipated. So there can be many situations. There can be different permutations and combinations. So the matter is complex. So these are such some type of situations where auditor may plan to meet the external legal counsel, or there is a or he can also meet external legal counsel when there is a disagreement between the management and the external legal counsel. Okay. So again, if the management doesn't allow him to meet the external legal counsel, obviously remember, guys, that he is the advisor, he is the legal counsel of the company. He is not bound to the auditor. So he may simply refuse to meet you. So it is better if the company facilitates that process. If the company also doesn't facilitate, or if it prohibits the auditor from meeting the external legal counsel, then auditor has to perform alternative audit procedures. And if he is not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then he would have to modify the opinion. Yes, yes, Rathi Malini, you are also saying correctly. Tejaswin, you are also saying correct. Pallavi, all of you are writing correctly. So this was an out view of SA 501 in respect of litigations and claims involving the entity. So guys, I think that you have got the essence of it. You have got the essence of SA 501 as far as inventories are concerned. You have also got a sense of it as far as auditor's responsibility regarding litigations and claims involving the entity under SA 501. Yes, Sanatan, you are saying what are those alternative audit procedures? Those alternative audit procedures are like um, going through documentary evidences, like obtaining whatever information is available with the company regarding the legal proceedings. Okay. So the auditor can come to know that in which direction this matter is heading. So what are the copies? What are the grounds taken by the company? What is the record of the proceedings? So there is some sort of correspondence between legal counsel and the company, and the auditor can go through that. Okay, like say in bigger companies, the external legal counsel, whenever they attend the proceedings, they may be providing a gist a overview of what happened and in which directions, what are the new developments in the case. There may be some documentary evidence in this regard. Yes, Sanatan. Yes, Bhaskar, what are you asking? Your message is visible, Bhaskar. Yes. Earlier you had sent two blank messages. What you are trying to ask? Yes, Bhaskar, any specific query? Bhaskar Das. Yes, Bhaskar Das, do you have any specific query? No, not at all. So guys, third aspect as far as SA 501 is concerned relates to segment information. Yes, segment information, students, you understand? There is a complete accounting standard on segment information. You have read it? Yes, who can tell me what is the accounting standard number? Segment information. Have you read it in your accountancy classes till now? Yes, anyone? Yes, yes, Tejaswin, you are right. AS 17. AS 17. So basically, you have to understand this much, that the auditor has to perform audit procedures whenever segment information is presented in accordance with AS 17. Then the auditor has to um, perform audit procedure to see that it is in accordance with the requirements of applicable financial reporting framework. Okay, so segment information basically means information regarding, say, different type of products or services, or information pertaining to different geographical areas. So like a company may be in the business of, say, manufacturing of paints, it may be in the business of manufacturing of textiles, and it may be in the business of manufacturing one more thing. Okay, so then how this information is presented in accordance with the requirement of applicable financial reporting framework? This has to be seen by the auditor by performing audit procedures, like he would be seeing the methods by which this segment information is presented, and he may test check few of those methods, like if there is a transfer of material from one unit in the company to another segment, then how this information is presented, how the costs are being allocated, how segment assets are being reflected. So these kind of things, these audit procedures he has to perform, and this much you have to understand. uh, no detailing is there in your module as far as this portion is concerned, so you have to go by the contents of your syllabus. Okay, clear, students? So SA 501 deals with these three aspects. Again, I am repeating it. Number one, inventories. Number two, litigations and claims involving the entity. And number three, segment information. Okay. Now we come to another essay, that is essay 505. Essay 505 is in relation to external confirmations. Okay. So students, during our previous two lectures, we had learned through essay 500 that audit evidence which is obtained from a third party is more reliable. Although we had also learned that bulk of the audit evidence which the auditor gets is internal in nature, but remember the concept of reliability of audit evidence. So we had learned that audit evidence which is obtained by the auditor from third parties is more reliable. Remember? And we had also learned that audit evidence which is obtained directly by the auditor is more reliable. And the audit evidence which is obtained by the auditor in documentary form is more reliable. So these were the three generalizations which we understood, which we made when studying essay 500, essay 500. Now, what is external confirmation? So essay 505 deals with this audit procedure external confirmations. When auditor uses external confirmation to obtain audit evidence, like when the auditor sends request to a third party, say to a trade debtor, to a trade receivable, or to a trade payable, to a creditor, to confirm certain information, or he may be sending request to a third party uh, to verify terms of some contract, to verify terms of some agreement. So this is known as external confirmation. While studying about audit procedures, we had learned that external confirmation is one of the audit procedures, isn't it? You remember? So essay 505 states that external confirmation is a audit evidence which is directly obtained, which is obtained by the auditor directly from a third party, from a confirming party. Okay. It can be in any form, it can be in documentary form, it can be in electronic form, or it can be in any other medium, but it has to be in some medium. Okay. So when the auditor uses these procedures, essay 505 deals with it, how the auditor has to uh, design his external confirmation requests, what are the considerations which he has to keep in mind, and what are the other aspects related to external confirmations. So essay 505 deals with these aspects. Now, students, remember that one thing is external confirmation and one thing is external confirmation request. What is the difference between these two, guys? So external confirmation request basically is when the auditor sends some confirmation request to third party to confirm some information. So it is an external confirmation request. So it is the first step. So obviously this confirmation request is going to be confirmed by the confirming party, by the third party. Clear, guys? So there are few terms associated with this essay 505. Yes, Sanatan, you are right. These are positive confirmation request, second is negative confirmation request, third is non-response, and fourth is exception. Okay. So first of all, students, we have to understand these terms. What do these terms mean? Positive confirmation request, negative confirmation request. Again, I am repeating non-response and exception. So students, why I again emphasize, repeat some terms? Because these terms should come to you naturally while writing the exam. You should not hesitate in writing these terms. You should not use the wrong words. That is why I tell you, that is why I ask you to remember again and again in your mind and try to write these terms. Okay. Because if your heading is say inappropriate, it is wrong, then obviously the person who is checking your copy, who is checking your paper, first thing is wrong. Obviously, he it would not be leaving a good impression on him. Okay. So positive confirmation request. What does positive confirmation request mean? So when the auditor requests the confirming party to confirm whether you agree with this information or whether you disagree with this information. So it is said positive confirmation request, that you please respond whether you agree with this information or you disagree with this information. It is sent, it is called in essay 505 as positive confirmation request. And what is negative confirmation request? Negative confirmation request means when the auditor asks the confirming party to respond when you disagree with the information. If you agree, you do not need to respond. When you disagree with the requested information, then you need to respond. This is called as negative confirmation request. Okay. Third is non-response. So like when a positive confirmation request is sent by the auditor, so it is, and the third party doesn't respond or doesn't respond fully, or the confirmation request is undelivered, it doesn't reach the intended party, so it is called as non-response. Okay. And fourth is exception. So exception, as the name highlights, as the name denotes, exception means that there is a difference between the response given by the party and what is present in the records of the entity, or what is present as financial information in the financial statements of the entity. So it is exception. It is different. So got it, guys? All the terms you have got it. Positive confirmation request, where the confirming party has to respond whether it agrees or disagrees with the information. Negative confirmation means when the confirming party has to respond when it disagrees with the information. If it agrees, then no need to respond. And non-response means when the confirming party doesn't respond, or when the request is undelivered, or when it partially responds. And exception means when there is a with the difference between the response given by the confirming party between the third party. Yes, Kiran, you can ask the question in last half an hour on Zoom. For the time being, you can send on the BOS portal. Okay. Yes. So clear, guys? What? Yes, Sanatan, you are asking what is non-response. I can't understand. So students, let us see the definition of non-response as given in essay 505. Yes, Sanatan, you can see it. Non-response. Non-response is a failure of the confirming party to respond or fully respond to a positive confirmation request, or a confirmation request returned undelivered. So like, look, I am an auditor. I have sent a positive confirmation request to a trade receivable to confirm some balance or to confirm some account statement of that trade receivable. Okay. But the third party to whom I have sent the confirmation request, it does not respond. It chooses to ignore my request. It doesn't answer to me. So can I force him to answer? Do I have any legal right? Over the third party? Yes. Sanatan, is it clear to you? Yes, Sanatan, is it clear to you? Or say I as an auditor, send choose to send a confirmation request to a trade receivable, and the letter which I sent, say by speed post, it is undelivered. It comes back to me. Okay. Yes, Tambeshwari and Kiran Kumar, all your queries. Tambeshwari, you are asking to explain in Hindi, so I would explain in Hindi in the last half an hour. You can ask on the Zoom, Tambeshwari, then. And Kiran Kumar, you are asking difference between negative confirmation and exception. Kiran Kumar, keep a patience, little bit patience for 5-10 minutes. These concepts would be coming in detailed form just right now after 5-10 minutes. Okay. So even if you do not understand, then you can ask in on Zoom in last half an hour. Okay. So have a little patience. So again, students, for your sake, for your understanding, in simple words, in simple terms, I am explaining all these four terms once again. So with an example. So leave this textbook definition. I will try to explain you with an example. Now I am an auditor of a company. I send a confirmation request to Mr. X, who is a trade receivable in the books of the company, to confirm some information, whether you agree with it or disagree with it. You confirm it, whether this balance is correct or incorrect. Okay, so this is an example of positive confirmation request. Now we are talking about request, not response. We are at the first stage. We are still talking about request. Okay. Second is negative confirmation request. I am an auditor of a company. So say I am again sending confirmation request to Mr. X or say to Mr. Y. But I ask him to respond only if you disagree with the information. Say the balance in company's books of accounts of Mr. Y is rupees 1 lakh debit. So I say to him that if the balance in your books is not rupees 1 lakh, then only you give me a response. You give me your response. So it is called negative confirmation request. Okay. And third is non-response. As the name denotes, as the name suggests, non-response means that when I, as an auditor, say I am the auditor of the company, I have sent a confirmation request to Mr. Z. I have sent him a letter. And Mr. Z does not respond to me. Then it is a non-response. What is the rocket science? It is a case of non-response. Or if the letter which I have sent to Mr. Z, due to some reason, it comes back. Okay, it is undelivered, maybe address is wrong, party has shifted, or say the address which the company has given me, it could be fake. Okay, so it is an example of non-response. And what is exception? Say I am auditor, I have sent a confirmation request to Mr. A, who is a trade receivable, and Mr. A also gives me a response. But the response is different. It is different between the information requested and information provided by the confirming party. So there is a difference. Okay. Clear, guys? Yes, guys, is it clear? So guys, in the external confirmation procedures, first step is determining information to be confirmed. First step is determining information to be confirmed. So obviously, what first logical step for auditor would be what thing he is wanting to confirm. So whether this information relates to trade receivable, whether it relates to trade payable, whether it relates to something else, whether it relates to some agreement. So this has to be decided. So this is the first part. Determining the information to be confirmed. And second step is selecting the appropriate party, confirming party. Again, logical step. So you have decided this information is to be concerned. Now confirmation is to be obtained from whom? Okay. Third step is designing the confirmation requests. Now, how the confirmation is to be designed? It means that whether you would be writing that whether this balance is correct or not, you would be asking for this information, or whether you would be leaving the information blank. Say, human mind works in different ways. Like say if you write, please confirm this balance, whether it is correct or not, then other party simply may without checking its records, it may write that balance is correct. It happens. It is human nature. Okay. Or if you leave the information blank, then obviously he would have to write something. Obviously he would have to go to his records at least to see what the balance of the party's account is. Okay. Clear? And fourth is sending the requests to the confirming parties. Now, how the requests are to be sent, say whether these are to be sent through mail or through letter, these kind of things. Clear, guys? So students, these are very, very common sense point of view things. But the thing is that still you have to remember. I know you are able to understand. There are no formulas. There are no complex formulas. But still you have to learn. You have to remember. Otherwise you won't be able to write in the exam. Point is that. Okay. And one more thing can happen, students. That is, what would happen if management refuses to allow auditor to send confirmation requests? Yes. What do you think from common sense point of view? We will come to essay, what is stated in essay later on. But how do you view this? What should auditor do in this situation? No, 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 he can't fight. No, Sanatan, he can't fight with the management. Yes, Pranav, yes. This the auditor can do. But look, friends, you have to see from this point of view that there can be different perspectives to one issue. Yes, alternative audit procedure is also right. Yes, Dipali. Yes, you are right. That is great, Dipali. You are writing, find out what is the reason for refusal. Say, students, we learned you know probably that there is a famous saying that auditor is a watchdog, not a bloodhound. Have you heard this saying? Have you heard these famous lines? That auditor is a watchdog, not a bloodhound. You understand import of this language? So the students, some of you who have not heard it, so you can, these are the probably lines from a court judgment. So auditor is a watchdog, not a bloodhound. It means he has to take care. He is not to jump to the conclusions. Say like a bloodhound. There is a bloodhound dog which jumps, to somebody. So he is not to act on this way. So he will treat cautiously. He will see all the aspects. Like Dipali has stated that he would first inquire into the reasons for management's refusal. He would first inquire into the reasons for management refusal. That why at the first stage management is not allowing him to send external confirmation request, and he would examine the validity and reasonableness of management's refusal. So that would be the first logical step for him to do. There can be certain genuine reasons, like say there is a dispute, for example, there is a dispute going on between the company and some trade receivable. Say some quality issue dispute is there. So, and assume some court case is also going on. And now both the parties have decided to reach an out of court settlement. And there is some negotiation also going on between the company and the other party. So if the auditor meddles in the affair, so their negotiations might get spoiled. Yes, Bhavna, you are right. So the precariously placed negotiations, the matter which can be settled, this may be spoiled by unwanted interventions. Okay. So that could be one of the reasons for management's refusal. In such a case, the auditor can perform alternative procedures. And if he finds request to be genuine and obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. But if he doesn't find the request of management to be reasonable and valid, then he would have to perform alternative audit procedures. And if it is if he is not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then obviously it is a he would see impact upon his opinion, what he has to do, and it is also a fraud risk factor. He would need to communicate it to the management also. It may raise suspicion regarding some fraud. Okay, but he has to consider all these aspects and not jump to the conclusion. Okay. So let us see what is written in your module. Management's refusal to allow the auditor to send confirmation request, steps taken by the auditor. Inquire as to management's reasons for refusal and seek audit evidence as to validity and reasonableness. Okay. Evaluate the implications of management's refusal on the auditor's assessment of risk of material misstatements, and perform alternative audit procedures to obtain relevant and reliable, meaning sufficient appropriate audit evidence, qualitative audit evidence. So if the auditor concludes that management's refusal to allow the auditor a confirmation request is unreasonable, or the auditor is unable to obtain a reliable audit evidence from alternative procedures, then he shall communicate it with the management, and he shall determine the implications for it for his opinion in accordance with SA 705, which you would read in your chapter on audit report in module 2. Okay. And reasonableness of management refusal, this I have already explained to you by means of an example. Clear, guys? And one more thing about negative confirmations. One more thing about negative confirmations. So students, negative confirmations, remember, response to negative confirmations, they only provide less persuasive audit evidence. Then positive confirmations, then responses to positive confirmations, then responses to positive confirmation requests. Why it is so? Because I have asked a third party to respond to me in the situation when you disagree. But the party doesn't reply to me. So it means that the audit evidence is not as reliable, is not as persuasive as it would be in case of response to positive confirmation requests, where I am getting a direct audit evidence, I am getting a piece of paper from the party confirming or not confirming something. That is why less persuasive bhavna means on which less reliance is likely to be placed, which provides less assurance. Audit evidence, I told you, is always persuasive. It is not conclusive, it is persuasive. So the question is of degree. So the response obtained from positive confirmation requests is more persuasive, because here you are getting some information, some piece of paper confirmed by the third party. But in case of negative confirmation request, the evidence is maybe implicit. Okay. So therefore, negative confirmation requests are used where risk of material misstatement is low, where controls are working satisfactorily, or where there are certain homogeneous similar balances, small amount of balances, and where the auditor knows that previously in previous years also the confirming parties have not disregarded his requests. Okay, so these are the circumstances where negative confirmations are generally used, otherwise positive confirmations are used. Okay. So once again, students, I would like you to go to the textbook definition of external confirmation and try to remember it by heart. It is going to help you in many cases. Like external confirmation may be defined as an audit evidence. So it is an audit evidence obtained as a direct written response to the auditor. The auditor obtains it directly. It doesn't come through the medium of the company. The auditor gets a response directly, okay, from a third party, that is the confirming party, in paper form or electronic form or any other medium. So learn this meaning by heart. Every word. It is an audit evidence obtained as a direct response, direct written response. Who gets a response? Auditor gets a response. From whom it is getting? From a third party, from a confirming party. In a paper form, electronic form, or any other form. Yes, guys, clear? Yes, SA 505 is clear to you, students? Yes, drop a mail, students. Okay. So, guys, we'll take a break for 5 minutes and come back after 5 minutes. So, break for 5 minutes. Yes, Ayaz, break for 5 minutes. Yes, welcome back, students. So, yes, guys, are you ready to do some questions? Are you ready to do some questions on in areas which we have done today and also what we have done in last two lectures? See question number 1. So, while answering, students, do write question number also. No, no, Tejaswin, it is not electronic medium, informal in nature, WhatsApp. It should be by mail or some this sort of thing. It is not some social media. Yes. CAG statutory auditor of KM Limited, a company engaged in manufacturing of chemicals, is planning to attend physical inventory count as on 31st March 24. Which of following is not auditor's responsibilities in accordance with SA 501? Yes, few people have answered. What about others? Which of following is not? Question is asking not. Which of the following is not auditor's responsibilities in accordance with SA 501? Damn simple, guys. I've told you many times. Yes, so many of you have written answer correctly. The answer is C. And few of you guys are writing A. How, Ritika? How you can do this? And Balachandra, you are writing D. How you can do this? This is the basic audit procedures which has, see, look, the auditor has to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence under SA 501 regarding existence and condition of inventories, whether the inventories exist and what is their condition. So for existence, he has to perform he has to do these procedures. Observing performance of management at test count. What he would be doing at the test count? He would be seeing management people counting the stocks and he would be inspecting inventories. That is part of condition. And he would be performing audit procedures over company's inventories records. That is also part of his audit procedures. But how valuing company's inventories? Look, he would be checking valuation. No doubt he would be checking valuation. He would be checking about valuation assertion. But question is asking about SA 501. Okay. Next is during the course of audit of an entity, the auditor has gone through documentary records like purchase bills, expense bills, sale bills, bank statements, supporting entries made in books of accounts. Which audit procedure has been performed by the auditor? So simple. Yes, Kiran Kumar. Yes, auditor would of course be comparing costs with the purchase invoices, but that is part of valuation. Here we SA 501. SA 501 doesn't talk about valuation. It talks about only existence and condition. Yes, many of you have written correctly. Answer is A, inspection. Now, how you are stating inquiry, Bhavna? Tell me. Inspection means to see something, to examine some document, to examine some asset. Now, what he is doing, what the poor auditor is doing here, he is just going through, he has gone through purchase bills, sale bills, he has gone through books of accounts. What he has done, he has inspected. Okay, Bhavna, you are writing wrong typing. Remember not to put wrong circle on OMR sheet in exams. It would cost you 2 marks. Okay. Consider following two statements and tell which of the following is true in this regard. Yes, many of you had answered second question correctly. Vedant Tiwari, you were also correct. Amit Biswas, Pranav, Pooja. Yes. Yes, answer is third B. Statement 1 is correct. Tests of controls are audit procedures. It is true. Tests of controls are audit procedures. But are these substantive audit procedures? What is the meaning of substantive audit procedures? What is the meaning of substantive audit procedures? So tests of controls are simply controls to see whether are tests to see whether controls are working effectively, whether these are operating effectively, whether these are capable of preventing material misstatements or detecting and correcting material misstatements. These are not substantive audit procedures. Many of you have written correctly. Third B. Ritika, your answer is also correct. Now see question number 4. Sanatan, I have already explained substantive procedures many times. Substantive, which provides audit evidence in substance which detect material misstatements and provide audit evidence in this regard. Yes. So you have read the question. What would be the answer? Yes, what would be the answer? Only Pranav has given the reply. Yes. Guys, the answer is A. Why you are getting confused between A and C? Now, what does this situation denote? This situation denotes like the plant of the company is located, which is in an area in which law and order situation is not good. Okay, there are landmines laid there, so it poses a threat to the safety of the auditor. So the auditor has rightly concluded that it is impracticable for him to visit the plant to attend physical inventory count. So what is the option available for him? He can perform alternative audit procedures in such a case. If he gets sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then it is okay. He would need not modify his opinion. But if he doesn't get sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then he can modify the opinion. There is no compulsion upon him to compulsorily, necessarily modify his opinion, because situation comes uh, in the category of exception, because attendance at physical inventory count is impracticable. Okay. Yes. Question number 5. Yes, many of you have written correctly. Answer is D, valuation. Say whether a particular allowance is made or not, it means it shows that auditor is testing valuation assertion. It is not existence. It is not existence. Existence is when he is sending confirmation request and he gets a response. Then he comes to know that the balance in fact existed. Pallavi. Yes, Arup. Answer is right. Answer is D. Yes, Pranav, it is not A, it is valuation. Yes, students, now we come to another essay, that is essay 510. Initial audit engagements, opening balances. Initial audit engagements, opening balances. Guys, there is problem with some this writing pen. I'll once stop share and come back again, guys. Yes. SA 510. Initial audit engagements opening balance. Now, first of all, tell me, guys, what is an initial audit engagement? Yes, anyone? You have read about it in your chapter 2 also, audit planning. Yes, can anybody tell what is initial audit engagement? Acceptance and continuous audit. No, Ritika, you are off the mark, totally off the mark. What is an initial audit engagement? Name is denoting many things. Initial audit engagement. Break the term and you would get the meaning. Yes. Yes, Dilip. When auditor is taking up audit of an entity of a company for the first time, nearing, yes, Sanatan is saying forgotten. Okay. No, no. Kasak initially is done before main audit. No, this is not the meaning. So, students, SA 510, according to SA 510, initial audit engagement means an audit engagement in which financial statements of preceding period were not audited or financial statements of preceding period were audited by a predecessor auditor. Now, what does this mean? Say, say if I am an entity, say I am a firm, okay, and say I the auditor has to accept the audit for financial year 23-24, and the financial statements of the firm for financial year 22-23 were not audited. So then it for year 23-24, it would become an initial audit engagement for the auditor because he is accepting it for the first time. Or if accounts of the financial year 22-23 were audited by some other auditor, not by him, not by the current auditor which is going to accept the appointment. Suppose I have to accept the appointment, so and the accounts of the preceding year were audited by somebody else. So it would become initial audit engagement in my hands as far as I am concerned. As far as I, as an auditor, as far as I am concerned, it would become an initial audit engagement for me in either of these two cases. No, no, Tejaswin, there is no question of being angry. Who told you? No, no, there is no question. Why I would be feeling angry with somebody? No, no. So, clear, guys, initial audit engagement, meaning this can fall in these two situations. So, this essay, this standard on auditing applies in case of initial audit engagement. When there is a responsibility for the auditor to design and perform audit procedures in respect of opening balances, because he is new to the entity, he is new to the organization. So there is a responsibility cast upon him to design and perform procedures relating to opening balances, so that there are no material misstatements in the opening balances which can impact current period's financial statements also. Yes, it can apply, Sanatan, because previous periods um, financial statements were not audited by him. It falls under second condition. So, and one more question, students. Can first condition apply in case of a company in India? Can first condition apply in case of a company in India? Answer carefully, guys. You have read this in chapter 1. In case of a company, specifically in case of a company, whether first condition can apply as far as Indian conditions are concerned. Yes, Tejaswin, yes, yes. No, it can't apply because accounts of company are required to be audited every year under Companies Act 2013. But it can be the case in respect of an entity which is not a company. Say in case of a firm, or in case of an individual, in case of a proprietorship concern, they may not be their accounts may not have been audited for a particular year. Yes. Okay. So therefore, guys, opening balance, you already know opening balances which are brought forward from previous year. Now these may relate to assets, these may relate to liabilities, these may relate to current assets, to current liabilities, to non-current assets, to non-current liabilities. Like there would be figures of closing stock of the previous year which is brought forward as a opening stock. There would be debtors closing balances. There would be creditors closing balances which are brought forward. There would be closing balances of property, plant and equipment which are brought forward. Okay. So what are the audit procedures to be performed by the auditor in this regard? Say in case of an initial audit engagement, the auditor's responsibility is to see that opening balances do not contain material misstatements, because such material misstatements could impact uh, current year's financial statements also. So in some cases, he would be obtaining audit evidence as part of audit procedures of current year. But in some cases, he would not be obtaining audit procedures as part of current year's audit procedures. Okay, so we have to look at two things differently. Like say, for current assets, for example, there are balances of opening balances of trade receivables. Okay, so if payments have come during the current year from the trade receivables, then it goes on to show, it goes on to provide audit evidence regarding the opening balances. Say rupees 1 lakh had appeared as debit balance in account of Mr. X, which is a trade receivable, and in April, say in April 23, the payment has come. So it is providing audit evidence that this balance or this opening balance is in fact correct, and it existed as on 31st March 23. Okay. Clear, students? So similarly, in case of current liabilities, when there are opening balances, say, which are standing in the books of accounts, in the financial statements on the credit side, on the liability side. So if in the current year payment is being made to them, so it goes on to show, it provides audit evidence regarding the opening balance. But current year procedures do not provide audit evidence in respect of all items of current assets. Like say in respect of opening inventories. So the auditor who has accepted an audit engagement, which is an initial audit engagement for him, so obviously he can't be supposed to verify opening stocks, because that period has already gone by. So what he can do, he can perform certain analytical procedures like checking gross profit ratios, or at the most he can check valuation of opening inventories. So such kind of things he can do. Such kind of procedures he can perform. Okay, and for say non-current assets like property, plant and equipment, obviously he can verify the records relating to opening balances. That would be there. Yes, Tejaswin, you are right. Okay. So these are the kind of things, these are the kind of procedures which the auditor has to perform to confirm that there are no material misstatements in the opening balances when the engagement is an initial audit engagement for him. And he has also to see that accounting policies which were followed in the prior period are being followed consistently in the current period, or if there are changes in the accounting policies, then he would have to uh, then he would have to see that whether is are properly disclosed or not. Otherwise, it also constitutes misstatement. So if the auditor finds misstatement in the opening balances, then again he would have to see this impact of misstatements in opening balances um, on his opinion. How the opinion has to be modified, whether he has to qualify the opinion, whether he has to give an adverse opinion, okay, or in certain circumstances he may have to give disclaimer of opinion. So these are the responsibilities of auditor as far as initial audit engagements are concerned. Okay. So we again once again refer to the meaning of initial audit engagement. So initial audit engagement refers to an engagement in which either the financial statements of prior period were not audited, or there is a word or, not and. Remember, the financial statements for the prior period were audited by predecessor auditor. So what does predecessor auditor mean? Predecessor auditor means the auditor from a different audit firm who audited the financial statements of an entity in the prior period and who has been replaced by the current auditor. Means that he is the previous auditor was the outgoing auditor and the current auditor is incoming auditor. Yes, clear guys? And the auditor has, it is his responsibility to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence about whether the opening balance contain misstatements that materially affect the current period's financial statements. Yes, Arup, what you are trying to say, your question is not clear. Please repeat your question. So what are the audit procedures? Determine whether the prior period's closing balances have been correctly brought forward. So this is the primary audit procedure. So nothing guys, simple things, but written in technical languages. Obviously, when you are verifying the financial statements, you would see that previous years balances of the year of which you were not auditor, these have been brought forward correctly. Okay. Determining whether opening balances reflect the application of appropriate accounting policies and performing these audit procedures, like going through the copies of audited accounts of the previous years and seeing the figures in books of accounts of the current year. Whether audit procedures performed in current period provide audit evidence relating to opening balances. Like I had told you about trade receivables and trade payables, payment received from trade receivables and payment made to trade payables, and specific audit procedures relating to current assets and current liabilities. This we have already discussed. And also he has to see the consistencies of accounting policies relating to opening balances. Okay. So we also quickly go through some one to test your understanding questions. Yes. See, what should be the answer to this question? Test your understanding 7. Read the question and what would be your answer? Yes, anybody? Yes, Pallavi has given the answer. What about others? Yes, yes, he has to perform. Yes, Vedant, you are also right. Deepak, you are also right. Okay. Let us see once more other sort of questions. Yes, read this question. Test your understanding 9. No, no, Ritika, you are asking what does direct communication mean? Direct communication doesn't mean meeting. Meeting is something else. Communication means communicating by medium. Okay, by way of letter. Okay. Meeting, the question is not asking about meeting. Meeting is something else. The question is asking about communication. Now that is why I request you to read between the lines in auditing paper to see what the question is asking from you. Yes, yes, Kasak. If the auditor doesn't obtain, is not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding inventories, then he would have to modify his opinion. If he is not able to do so by performance of alternative audit procedures, then he would have to modify. Yes, C question, test your understanding 9. Yes, what should be the answer? Only one person has stated the answer. Yes, Sanya, you are right. Reason of refusal is justifiable. It is reasonable. The same example I had quoted. Students, what you are doing? And Tambeshwari, why you are writing no? The same example I had quoted. There is a dispute going on with the company on some quality issues, and however efforts are being made to reach an out of court settlement, so it can spoil the business relations. The matter is nearing the closure, so the auditor need not meddle into such affairs if he can obtain audit evidence by alternative audit procedures. The request of CFO is perfectly justifiable. Yes. Uh, yes, एजाज, हाँ आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हो. आप अनम्यूट कर दो सबको. Yes. Any students who want to ask the question? Yes, Hardik, you can ask.
Sir, my
हाँ
question.
बताओ.
Good evening, sir.
गुड इवनिंग हार्दिक. अगर आप हिंदी में कंफर्टेबल हो आप हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हो, कोई इशू नहीं है.
No, sir, I'm comfortable in English only.
ओके ओके.
Sir, my question is regarding the inventory valuation in SA 501. That intervening period. I just need a clarification that the intervening period that is between the financial statements of a company, that period is also reviewed by the auditor. Am I correct, sir?
No, intervening period, what, from where you have taken this term? Let me see.
Sir,
Yes, if the auditor is unable to attend physical inventory count due to unforeseen circumstances, the auditor shall make or observe physical counts on an alternative date. Alternative date means say beyond the date of financial statements. That date has gone, 31st March has gone. He is not able to attend. Okay, so now say he has attended on 20th April or 30th April, then he shall perform audit procedures on transactions during this period between 31st March and 30th April.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes. Anybody else?
Sir, can you explain test your understanding 7?
Test your understanding 7.
Yes, sir.
Yes. See, who is speaking?
Tambeshwari, sir.
Yes, Tambeshwari. Yes.
Yes.
Tambeshwari, आपको हिंदी में समझना है या इंग्लिश में समझना है?
सर हिंदी में एक बार समझा दो.
हिंदी में समझना है तो
Yes,
ऐसा
sir.
है, देखिए कि अगर ऑडिटर ये कंक्लूड करता है कि उसको लगता है, उसने मैनेजमेंट से इंक्वायरी की, उसने लीगल एक्सपेंसेस अकाउंट देखा, उसने मिनट्स ऑफ मीटिंग देखे एक्सटर्नल लीगल काउंसिल के साथ, तो उसको ये लगता है कि नहीं, कुछ तो डाउट है उसको कि जो सारी लिटिगेशन की इंफॉर्मेशन है जो डिस्क्लोज होनी चाहिए थी वो डिस्क्लोजर नहीं है, तो ये पॉसिबिलिटी है, ये चांस है कि वो डिस्क्लोजर इनकम्प्लीट है या नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट है, तो उससे रिस्क ऑफ मेटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट है, उससे फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में मिसस्टेटमेंट आ सकती है। तो वो क्या करेगा, ऐसी सिचुएशन में जहां पे रिस्क ऑफ मेटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट है, वो एक्सटर्नल लीगल काउंसिल से, लॉयर से डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेट करेगा कि आप बताओ हमें कि भैया कौन से केसेस कंपनी के अगेंस्ट चल रहे हैं, उनका क्या स्टेटस है, कंपनी का क्या एस्टीमेट है उसकी फाइनेंशियल इंप्लीकेशंस का, और वेदर यू एग्री विद कंपनीज इंप्लीकेशंस। क्वेश्चन डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में पूछ रहा है, मीटिंग के बारे में पूछ ही नहीं रहा ना वो।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है।
Okay, sir.
Yes, anybody else? Yes, Ritika.
सर गुड इवनिंग सर, वो एक बार आप लिटिगेशंस एंड क्लेम्स वो बता दीजिए ना, इन्वॉल्विंग इन द आइडेंटिटी।
मैं क्या इसका मीनिंग बताऊं?
यस सर, एक बार शॉर्ट में लिटिगेशंस एंड क्लेम्स बता दीजिए।
लिटिगेशंस एंड क्लेम्स का मतलब है कि कोई कंपनी के अगेंस्ट कोई मैटर चल रहा है जो कि लीगल नेचर का है, किसी कोर्ट में चल रहा है या किसी क्वासी जुडिशियल अथॉरिटी के पास चल रहा है, तो जिसमें कि कंपनी की कल को कोई लायबिलिटी निकल सकती है, तो वो प्रॉपरली डिस्क्लोजर होना चाहिए ना उसका, नहीं तो वो फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन प्रॉपरली प्रेजेंटेड नहीं होगी। तो इसलिए ऑडिटर को जो है ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स परफॉर्म करने हैं कि जो इसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन है उसका डिस्क्लोजर और प्रेजेंटेशन कंप्लीट हो, ये इसका मतलब है। यस, क्लियर?
यस सर, वो 3 इंक्वायरी, इंस्पेक्शन, ये सारी क्या है सर?
हाँ, तो इसके बारे में कौन से ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स वो परफॉर्म करेगा, इंक्वायर करेगा। सबसे पहले तो उसको खुद तो पता नहीं, ऑडिटर को कैसे पता चलेगा आप बताइए? आप ऑडिटर है किसी कंपनी के, आपको कैसे पता चलेगा? आप मैनेजमेंट से तो पूछोगे ना, तो इंक्वायरी
यस
होगी।
सर।
और दूसरा काम आप क्या करोगे, आप मिनट्स ऑफ मीटिंग देखोगे कि जो उन्होंने अपने लॉयर के साथ कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस की, क्या कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस हुई, उसे मीटिंग मिनट्स में क्या लिखा गया। और तीसरी बात, आप लीगल एक्सपेंसेस अकाउंट जो है, जो बुक्स में आ रहा है, उसको रिव्यू करोगे कि किस बात की पेमेंट की गई है, उससे भी तो पता चल जाएगा आपको कि इस बात की पेमेंट की गई है, तो कौन सा केस चल रहा है, कौन सा मैटर है, नहीं पता
यस
चलेगा।
सर, यस सर, सर गॉट इट, थैंक यू।
ठीक है। यस, भावना।
Good evening, sir.
यस, गुड इवनिंग भावना।
Sir, who can become external legal counsel?
एक्सटर्नल लीगल काउंसिल आप ये समझो, लॉयर है, जो जो लोग लीगल मैटर्स में डील करते हैं, एडवोकेट समझ लीजिए आप।
Sir, we can select anyone, advocate.
यस यस, लेकिन जो टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज है ऐसे की, उसमें एक्सटर्नल लीगल काउंसिल ही लिखा है, तो आप समझने के लिए ये समझो, लेकिन लिखना एक्सटर्नल लीगल काउंसिल।
Okay, sir.
यस, एनीबॉडी एल्स? Yes, anyone else, guys? So we don't have any other query. So students, yes.
Follow up on confirmation request.
Follow on Tambeshwari.
Yes, sir.
फॉलो ऑन कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट मींस, मतलब जो आपने कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजी, ठीक है, उसका रिस्पांस आप देखोगे कि क्या आया क्या नहीं आया। ठीक है, मतलब किसी पार्टी ने रिस्पांस नहीं भेजा, ठीक है, तो आप उसको फॉलो अप करोगे कि नहीं, दोबारा भेजोगे एक बार? क्या
Yes, sir.
रीजन है, क्या रीजन है, इंक्वायर करोगे मैनेजमेंट से।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है। So students, we have already covered SA 501. Again, I am naming audit evidence, specific considerations for selected items. Remember the name of the essay, guys. That is going to help you in examination condition. Because once you forget, so if you remember the name, you can make out what this essay relates to. Okay. And remember, essay 501 deals with three things: inventories, litigation and claims involving the entity, and segment information. Essay second thing we have done is essay 505, that is external confirmations. Third thing we have done is essay 510, initial audit engagement, opening balances. So remember the meaning of initial audit engagement. Okay. And why, what is the objective of auditor in initial audit engagement, and which audit procedures he has to perform. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining the session and listening. So session is over. Thank you so much. Good night.